Showtime.
Showtime. Showtime.
Ooh, showtime.
Showtime. Showtime.
Showtime.
Showtime. Showtime. Showtime. Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.
Greetings, true believers. Welcome back into the fastest show in sports. I am your host and ringmaster, Ed Berliner. And in case you are wondering, we begin the show today with the password. The password for today is acetaminophen.
Well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Is that okay?
Yes. Okay, well, I'm close enough for rock and roll, I guess. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there, so let's get started. There is a furor at Clemson University this week that reaches right into all areas of college football. Now, it's not usually that you begin a national show, an international show for that matter, talking about Clemson unless something really drastic happens. Well, nothing drastic happened, but it is a general collection of certain things that are right smack dab in what is wrong with college football and even maybe college athletics today. Now, for the first time in 17 years, under head coach Dabo Swinney, the Clemson football program has started the season 1-3. Absolute disaster. Before they lost to Syracuse in their most recent defeat, 34-21, Swinney took the stage at his midweek press conference and let it fly.
I mean, listen, I know everybody's frustrated, but 17 years we've had one bad season. One. And that was 6 wins. The worst season we've had in 14 years is 9 wins. And that's happened one time. What's so bad about our program? What's so bad about it? Like, what's so bad about the worst season that we've had 14 years? How many programs in college football would sign up for one, and only once, 14 years of 9 wins? How many programs would sign up for that? At the end of the day, man, you know, I've learned a lot in this job. One of the things I've learned is when you have a lot of success, people want to tear you down. That just comes with it. People want to tear you down. They want to see you fail for either to make themselves look better or to promote whatever narrative or agenda they may have. That's part of it. Yeah, we a little down right now. Take your shots, but I got a long memory, in case y'all don't know. If Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way, but I'm going to go somewhere else and coach. I ain't going to the beach. Hell, I'm 55. I got a long way to go. Y'all going to have to deal with me for a while.
And with a $60 million buyout at Clemson, I got a feeling he doesn't need to go to the beach. But there's something further at discussion here. Because, of course, with a season such as this, the mocking mouthpieces just come out of the woodwork at every single corner. And when he talks about those who have a narrative and an agenda in order to promote themselves, he's talking basically about clickbait. And he's talking about people such as Paul Feinbaum from ESPN, who quite frankly can't wait long enough to vacillate and to use whatever is happening in the sport to basically make a name for himself.
Well, first of all, I think Dabo Swinney ought to pipe down. Nobody wants to hear the woe is me routine from him. I mean, it's getting very old. Everyone knows what he's accomplished. Dabo, you don't need to remind us of that. We know. We watched the games. We saw your 2 national championships. So, Dabo, shut up, first of all, and try to get your team back in this season. Yes, there's only 8 games remaining, and your path to the playoff is about as narrow as me having a full head of hair by the 5 o'clock this afternoon. And the bottom line is this. There are so many problems. But the biggest thing to me, aside from Klubnik, is the defense. We expected them to be elite this year with edge rushers all over the place, and they have not performed. So that buck stops with Dabo Swinney.
I mean, I don't even know what to say after that. He just brought the hammer down hard. But I will say this, the buck does stop with Dabo, but listen, if there are going to be any changes after this season, it should be considered at the coordinator position with offensive coordinator Garrett Riley, because this team is underperforming. There's plenty of talent. I mean, Cade Klubnik had a good season last year. His top 3 receivers returned. To your point, the defense should be better. That's on Tom Allen. But here's the thing. I will remind people how good Clemson has been under Dabo Swinney. They played for the national title. They won the ACC last year as a 3-loss team. Dabo, I was on his press conference last night after the game, and for whatever reason, he has no explanation as to why they cannot put this together. You're right, it's on Dabo, but I also will point the blame elsewhere at the coordinators too.
Now, Paul Feinbaum is one part of this, but I'd like to thank Heather Dinich for basically spouting every single cliche possible and going almost 60 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, and saying absolutely nothing. This is what happens with a lot of these people who claim to be experts in their sport or college football analysts. She said absolutely nothing, and the only thing that Paul Feinbaum said that was interesting to any point was when he basically insulted Dabo Swinney. Look, hey, Paul Feinbaum, here's a short little suggestion for you. Why don't you shut up for a change? Instead of telling Dabo Swinney to shut up, why don't you just shut the trap, and instead of trying to promote yourself at all costs, do something that's actually productive for a change? Because while Dabo Swinney did indeed go off on a personal rant at his press conference and basically spit out a lot of, and I don't say it's woe is me, but he spit out a lot of, hey, look, we're not that bad. We're actually pretty good. Consistently, Clemson is a very good, as a matter of fact, Clemson is an excellent football program. But what Swinney is pointing out here is in all of this, you just can't win in contemporary college football because you either have mewling mouthpieces like Paul Feinbaum and Heather Dinich and anybody else just basically out there spitting something because they're handed a microphone and they're told, here, Phil, put something in there. They're not saying anything. They're not saying anything constructive whatsoever. It's already out there. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing probing about it, nothing investigative. And all it is, you're just taking shots for clickbait, which, by the way, I guess we just helped because we put them up there. But Swinney is right. People are never satisfied in college football. Well, what am I saying? People are never satisfied, period. Whether it be college football, college basketball, the NFL, Major League Baseball, hockey, the NBA, whatever it is. But let's stick with college football for the moment. People aren't satisfied. Clemson goes through 17 years under Swinney, and they're a consistent winner. They've won 2 national championships. That's not bad. Some schools go 17 years, some schools go 27 years without even sniffing a national championship. But he has given his school and his players the chance to win and enjoy a title. You can't win every year. Every year is not going to be 10 victories, 11 victories, a college football playoff berth, and a shot for the national championship. It's just not going to happen. It can't. So instead of idiots like Paul Feinbaum basically spitting bullshit, how about just pointing out that, yes, it is a very consistent program. Yes, Clemson wins. Yes, Clemson's having a bad season this year. Horrors! Look out, somebody's having a bad season and they're not going to win a national championship. Can we just stop these boorish louts going after somebody who's basically in there trying? And look, I don't know Dabo Swinney personally. Never met the guy. But I know he never stole a freight train, and he at least is trying to win. So maybe people ought to back off just a little bit, number one, and realize that every now and then you're going to have a bad season. Every now and then you're going to stink. Every now and then it's going to come around where other teams are beating you. You have no way of knowing what's going on. You have no handle on it. You're trying your best. You're putting your best players in there, your best plays, whatever. But you're not going to win. But it's people like Feinbaum especially, who is in here constantly, and the only reason he goes after schools like this guy changes his mind more than most people change their shorts. But he's doing it because he gets attention. He gets clicks. ESPN loves it. He's making him popular. But the thing about it is, he's not that smart. Everybody thinks Paul Feinbaum is this brilliant individual when it comes to college athletics. He spits out the same nonsense that everybody else does. He just has a forum and a platform for it. In this case, let it go. Now, let's look at the other side of this. Dabo Swinney made a good point where he's telling everybody that we're winners. We're consistent winners. And I think people need to be reminded of that from time to time. But in the same breath, Swinney has made mistakes. This is a guy who doesn't really chase the transfer portal. He's not the guy who basically has taken advantage of a lot of the NIL deals and a lot of the differences that make college football what it is today. And that's a mistake, because you absolutely, positively, without question, cannot exist as a contender in college football without using transfers. You can't do it. And you can't do it without the money. And we know Clemson's got the money. I don't know what their budget is, but I got to believe that they got plenty of money to spend. But Swinney is a guy who backs off the portal. He doesn't take the chances. And when he's questioned about it, he ignores the question and he sidesteps it conveniently. For whatever reason, he believes that he still has to create a football team based on old school college football. It doesn't work anymore. Well, wait, it does work. If you're a school that is happy winning 5 or 6 games a year, 7, maybe 8, if you're a conference, if you're a lower-ended team that is just happy to go out there, get your players on the field, get a little national exposure every now and then, make your boosters happy every now and then, maybe win the rivalry game. There's nothing wrong with that. Be satisfied with it. But Dabo, if you're going to contend for a national title, if you're going to be in the conversation, you must get involved in bidding for the big-name players. You got to go after them. You got to pay for them. Because college football is professional football grade 2. And you've got to realize that. So while you're telling everybody what a great job you're doing, get in there. Spend the money. Go after the players. Create a 9, 10, 11 win season. Gun for the national championship. This way you keep the morons off your tail. And also you give people what they want. Because remember, people are never satisfied. If you win 9 games, well, we won 9 games. We didn't win the conference. Oh, wait, we won 9 games. We won the conference. We won 10 games. We won the conference. We didn't contend for the title. Oh, wait, we contended for the title, but we got blown out in the game. People are never satisfied. And that's just general human nature. So realize that. Keep reminding people of what a good job you're doing. Don't pay attention to the mental midgets who are always out there trying to find a way to make money off what you do and get clickbait off what you do. And worry about your program. Worry about what you're doing at the moment. And then, guess what? If you go ahead and join the 21st century with the way things are, you may actually win a 3rd national championship. Oh, and for the record, I think Dabo Swinney does a hell of a job. And I think he deserves a lot less criticism than what people are giving him right now. But it is a question and questions that need to be asked. Moving on. At Arkansas, they are having their own issues right now. Again, I said we were going to talk a lot about college football, but a lot about different things that are going on in college football. Because what happened in the last few days basically puts a spotlight on it. Arkansas is having problems. Arkansas is not winning as people thought they would. The Razorbacks are not nearly as good a football team as people want. Because remember, people want a conference championship every year. And they want a championship playoff berth every year. And they want a shot at the playoffs every single year. They're not going to get it this year. It's just not to be. And it hasn't been actually for some time. The athletic director at Arkansas is a gentleman named Hunter Yurachek. Now, he has completed and created a little bit of a revival at Arkansas. He's done a hell of a job when it comes to the athletic program, as recently noted in this introduction when he appeared at the Little Rock Touchdown Club.
It was Hunter Yurachek that brokered the deal that brought Arkansas and Arkansas State together at Memorial Stadium. And he was responsible for ending Arkansas's long-standing policy of not playing other state schools. This year, the Razorback baseball team has scheduled every Division I team in the state. In his 8th year at Arkansas, Hunter has led Arkansas to top 20 finishes in the prestigious Learfield Cup in each of the last 5 years. Arkansas has won 39 SEC championships in the past 7 years, including 31 conference titles in the past 5 years alone. This past year, 6 Arkansas programs made deep postseason runs, and an incredible 9 student athletes were named Player of the Year, including Vahiva Aloy and Bree Ellis. The work in the classroom, just as impressive. 32 straight semesters with at least a 3-point GPA. The Yurachek family has grown during his time at Arkansas. Hunter is now a granddad. Please welcome Pops, Arkansas's Director of Athletics, Hunter Yurachek.
Let's all welcome Hunter Yurachek to the stand. Now, the next thing is, all that is true. Yurachek has taken a program that was bedraggled in many ways and turned it into a consistent winner. But there's one key to what he hasn't done that again makes people question him and really ask whether or not he's actually doing his job. Because when he appeared at the Touchdown Club, and this was before they lost to Memphis 32-31, Yurachek basically dropped the bomb.
I know that focus is on football, and we all want to win in football, but at the same time, those schools have been outspending us for the last decade, and we've still won more SEC championships among more sports than any school in the SEC. And so I think we're doing just fine at the University of Arkansas, and I think we're set up to win a national championship in men's basketball moving forward. We know we're set up to win a national championship in baseball moving forward, and I think we're set up in several other sports to win a national championship. Football, where we are right now, we're not set up to win a national championship. I'll just be brutally honest with that. But I think we're set up to compete really well in the Southeastern Conference, especially now with the new revenue sharing model.
The absolute horror. And I swear, if the camera was turned the other way and you were looking out of this audience at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, you would see gasps where people were thinking, you mean we're not going to win a national football championship this year? We're not going to get close? We're not doing well? Hey, as an AD, you don't drop those kind of bombs because you got people sitting in that audience who spend a tremendous amount of money. You have sponsors listening. But good for Yurachek. He's right in there. He's serious. He's honest. He's factual. He's in your face. Arkansas is not set up to win a national championship in college football. The problem is that no matter how many national championships you win, they don't mean shit to the alumni, to the sponsors, to the boosters. Means nothing unless you win college football, men's basketball. That's it. Win all the championships you want in women's basketball, in baseball, in gymnastics, in soccer, whatever you want. But people don't care. And I'll say this much. Yurachek knows it. He's smart enough. He's been around long enough. He gets it. People don't care what you win. If you don't win that national championship in college football, the religion of college football is completely unshakable. We don't care. Okay. And I'm going to go one step further for you here, because not only do people not care about the national championships for other sports, but there's a bigger issue here as well regarding championships and students. People don't care about the baseball players. They don't care about the gymnasts. They don't care about the soccer players. We don't care. Matter of fact, if you pass us in the street, if we're a big booster of Arkansas athletics, and you pass us in the street, chances are 9 out of 10, we won't recognize you. But if you're the third-string safety on the football team that won the SEC and contended for a national championship, buddy, get ready to get a big NIL deal for tens of thousands of dollars. I'm not denigrating the athletes. I'm not denigrating their athletic talent. I'm not saying that they're not worthy. Matter of fact, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying they are incredibly worthy to get the attention. But in this day and age, people have that religion of football, especially in a place like Arkansas and so many other states. If it ain't football, it ain't nothing. And we don't care. That's unfortunate because attention needs to be paid to these other athletes, these incredible athletes who are out there busting their ass on a day-to-day basis. And they don't come into it, many times they don't come into it for winning a national title. They come into it for the competition. They come into it for the athletics. And guess what? Some of them may actually be there to get an education. Shocking, stunning, which doesn't count for anything whatsoever in college football or college basketball. Not a thing. So when a guy like Juracek drops the bomb and says, we're not going to win a national championship, okay, guess what? I'm going to be happy this year with 8 wins. I'll be happy this year with 9. Hey, we're not going to win a national championship in my lifetime. You don't know that, but then again, that's not the point. The point is not winning a national championship. It's a goal, but the point is these incredible athletes, these people busting their ass and trying to win many times and not getting a dime for it. Now, of course, they are in some areas. But frankly, pay more attention to them and understand that the football's going to come. Wins will come. Losses will come. Guess what? You're not going to win every single year. You're not going to contend every single year. You're going to have a lot of disappointments. That's what sports is. That's the beauty of it. Oh, but wait, I haven't even gone into the betting aspect yet, and that is another show for another time, because that will take days to discuss when the gamblers get upset that you don't win a game, and you know who you are. The good thing about a place like Arkansas is, and I love this, one of the great things about college football, this goes for college football more than any other sport. I've covered them all. College football, college basketball, college baseball, college hockey, every type of pro sport. The thing that is brilliantly entertaining to me is the passion, the will to live, the expert analysts who every single day of the week get to go viral, go on social media, and make sure that all this knowledge, all this passion, all this intelligence, all these years of knowing a sport intimately pays off with some of the most insightful, special, sometimes damning analysis you could ever find.
Well, it looks like Arkansas decided to let the SEC down this week. A couple weeks ago, it was Florida. This week, it's Arkansas. How the hell, Arkansas, you gonna lose to Memphis, man? How in the world you gonna? Could this be the last year Arkansas has Sam Pittman? Sam Pittman. Let me tell you something about Sam Pittman. Phenomenal coach when it comes to linemen. But so far, the experiment of him being a head coach at Arkansas has not worked, man. At what point is Arkansas going to make a change? You can't expect to come out and play like they playing and lose to Memphis, man. Just let the whole SEC down. This is unacceptable. All SEC fans should be pissed off right now that Arkansas come out and shit the bed and let Memphis beat them like this. Just embarrassing, bro. This is embarrassing. There's got to be a change made for Arkansas. We can't have this.
We are so lucky to have incredible analysts such as this that come to us at no charge, no network. You can find them anywhere, but they're there breaking down college football to the point that no former player, coach, or anyone affiliated with any program whatsoever could ever come close to this type of insight. We are the fortunate ones. Moving on. Let's talk about another program that's having all kinds of problems this year. North Carolina. Look, when Bill Belichick took the job at North Carolina, people were giddy. Here's a guy who has won multiple Super Bowls in his time as an assistant coach and as a head coach. A legendary individual, one who is up there in the pantheon of great NFL coaches, and he's coming to our school. He's going to be here. He's going to change the culture. Things are going to be great. Huzzah! There will be rainbows everywhere. There will be pots of gold for everybody to be a part of. It will be a moment that we can't even begin to experience. I mean, that's what it was like when Bill Belichick came there. Belichick, however, is finding out that things are a little bit different these days. Because after losing to the University of Central Florida by an embarrassing score of 34-9, those who are at North Carolina, once again, the media, has a great opportunity to experience, again, the insight, the passion, the emotion, the inner psyche thinking of a head coach, the likes of Bill Belichick.
First of all, it's a good job by UCF today. Scott and the team played well, and, certainly better than we did. So we had just too many problems out there to be consistent. Turn the ball over, penalties at the end of the half, missed tackles. So a lot of things we need to do a better job of. They were just better than us today.
I'm curious, out of Max when he came in there and then throughout the rest of the game, did you feel like he gave a better sense of a vertical offense for you guys? What did you like out of him, I guess, and then on the vertical offense, what did you like out of that especially?
Yeah, we'll take a look at the film and take a closer look at it. There's a lot of guys out there today. I think I could evaluate all of them.
On the left front row here.
Bill, before Gio's injury, what are some of the things you guys like about progress that he's made in moving the offense, which has been a struggle? So what are some of the things that you're seeing that are coming along that might be obvious to people who don't really see it like you do?
Well, we scored points the last 2 weeks. We had trouble doing it today. So.
Are there any specifics that you like about what he's doing?
Look, offense is football is a team sport. There's 11 guys out there. It's not, I'm talking about one guy. It's 11 guys that have to operate efficiently. And times we've done that and times we haven't. Today wasn't one of our better ones.
Oh, the insight that's there. I covered the New England Patriots for 4 years. I attended a lot of Bill Belichick press conferences. That is classic. Belichick is a coach who can say something and say nothing at all. Completely unintelligible. And I have to tell you, one of the best parts about that press conference is, without flinching, without even thinking twice, the head coach of a major university, a multiple Super Bowl champion, brings up a loogie. It had to be the size of a basketball. Right there, waiting for the question. Didn't take a break, and still got the answer in there. Oh, Bill. Oh, Bill. There's so many ways to go here on this story. Look, Bill Belichick is getting paid $10 million a year to coach at North Carolina. He's not going anywhere. I mean, already I've heard from people at North Carolina who say this is a huge mistake. We got to find a way to get rid of this guy. Well, he's barely into his first season. He took up a program that nobody had any respect for whatsoever, that had absolutely no future whatsoever, that was never going to contend for a conference championship, that was never, ever, ever, ever going to even sniff the possibility of a college football playoff. He basically had nothing to work with. So what did he do? He gutted the damn thing. He checked out all his players. He brought in these players. He had these players. And he's making do with what he's got. Because it's not like Bill Belichick can turn around and go to the transfer portal and say, we need a really good quarterback. There's not a quarterback in the country that would want to come to North Carolina. Not one. I'll back up. Maybe the 17th string quarterback at a small high school in Iowa wants to come play for North Carolina because he wants to go to the big city. Or he wants to go someplace where there's a lot of blue. Don't know what it is. But nobody wants to play for North Carolina, even if Bill Belichick is there. There's a lot of star players that don't want to go there because they realize that this is a complete rebuild from the ground floor up. So to say that Belichick is failing is, it's a 50-50 proposition. Yes, he is failing at the scoreboard. He is failing on the records. He is failing with the players because this team, if you saw the game against UCF, and look, I've got a lot of friends there, but UCF is not a powerhouse. UCF is not a school you got to be worried about. Quite frankly, most of the schools that will play UCF will come in and say, we got UCF this week. Shh, quiet, let it go. Okay, it's all right, yeah. I'll make the party right after the game. They're not anybody you worry about. You worry about it from a competitive standpoint, maybe just play, but you're not worried about them. And I'm sure that Bill wasn't worried about him, but he doesn't have the players to compete on that end. And he doesn't have the possibility to go out and get them, and he won't. After this season, maybe, if they start to pick up, there will be some impetus for players to come there. He may start to get some of the third and second tier stragglers to come in. But remember, we're dealing in a sport right now that is filled with mercenaries. I mean, every college football player out there who's got himself on the NIL bandwagon or looking for the transfer portal is a mercenary. They want the money. They want the money. They want the chance to win a conference championship. They want a chance to contend for the national championship. They want a chance to hit sponsors who are going to pay them a lot of money. And they want to be very famous on social media. 5 big things, none of which North Carolina offers right now. So this team is going to suck a lot. I don't think the loss to UCF was the bottom. I truly believe they're going to hit further bottom, but that's okay. You got to suck before you get better. And I'm sure Belichick knows that. But there is a second side of this. Is it possible, maybe even now, that Belichick regrets his decision? I think a little bit. Look, as I've said many times, I'm a member of the media. I know these coaches and players from a media standpoint. Some I know personally. Bill, I don't know. Nobody knows Bill personally unless you're in that little world that is part of his little sphere there. But I got to believe that a guy who has been to such heights, even though he said, okay, I don't want to take any of these jobs in the NFL because they're all losers. So let me go to college for a couple of years. Maybe I'll enjoy myself there. I got to believe that right now he's not enjoying himself because he's had to plunge himself into a program that needs a complete rebuild. And while I believe he knew that, I don't believe he knew the scope of what was happening here, what the level of this rebuild was going to be. And I think if you caught him in a private moment, Belichick would say, maybe I should have stayed home. Maybe I should have taken another year off. Maybe I should have waited for an NFL job. I mean, look, and I knew this was going to happen. As soon as their most recent defeat came around, the memes and the social media world lit up. Hey, Bill Belichick to the Miami Dolphins. Yikes. I'll bet you that Bill is sitting there right now going, well, it would have been in the pros, but I think Bill's a lot like those players who don't want to come to North Carolina. Why in the name of God would he want to go to Miami? I mean, that is the dumpster fire of an organization right now in the National Football League. I mean, there's other teams out there that are winless and others out there that have a lot of problems, but none of them are as bad as the Dolphins. And does Bill really want to get himself involved in that? I think not. Why? But Bill's there to stay, at least this year. I've always said that I think Belichick gives it 2 years, and then he makes another decision. I still firmly believe, and I am told by friends of mine in the NFL, that Bill still believes he can get one more shot at the NFL. One more. And he believes that this is going to keep him busy and get him ready for the NFL. I'm not so sure about it, to be honest, because Bill isn't getting any younger. And yeah, he's got Super Bowls behind him. But the coaching has changed in the NFL. And I do believe that in many ways it has passed Belichick by with the type of players that are there and the type of game it's being played right now. So Bill needs to be happy in North Carolina. Bill needs to be happy with what he has in North Carolina, including some other things that are off the field, but we'll get to that at another time, okay? Moving on. Let's move to the National Football League, because there's an issue out there that really is not getting a tremendous amount of attention, and I believe it needs a whole lot more. Tom Brady is a name that when he attaches himself to a project, it immediately becomes profitable. He is one of, if not the greatest player in National Football League history. But Tom has connected his name right now to something which will not help him, and which, quite frankly, is a little bit deplorable that he would even get involved in this. He's not the first, and he won't be the last, because this is not about football. This is about money. If you have never heard the phrase before, familiarize yourself with the word sports washing.
As American sensation Coco Gauff celebrates her win at the Women's Tennis Association finals this weekend, there's controversy. Not over who won, but where it happened. Riyadh, capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Critics point out the irony of a religious monarchy with a poor record on human rights, where women are second-class citizens, now playing host to one of the top events in women's sports. Former world number one Martina Navratilova slammed the move in an interview with the New York Times earlier this month, saying, quote, "Women have to be equal citizens under the law. Otherwise, we might as well play in North Korea." Coco Gauff echoing those concerns before playing.
I would be lying to you if I said I had no reservations.
But going on to say she hoped her presence would inspire change for women in the country. The WTA telling The Athletic, quote, "We believe it is the right thing to open up new opportunities for women to play professional tennis in different countries." The WTA didn't respond to our request for comment. The prize money for contestants, more than $15 million. It's the latest in a years-long push by Saudi Arabia into the world of sports, which some call sports washing, an attempt to launder the image of the authoritarian kingdom through high-profile competitions. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto ruler of the kingdom, told Fox News last year those accusations don't bother him.
Well, if sport washing going to increase my GDP by 1%, and then I will continue doing sport washing.
In 2021, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia completing a controversial takeover of British Premier League soccer club Newcastle United, and attracting some of soccer's biggest stars, like Neymar and Cristiano Ronaldo, to the Saudi Pro Soccer League with unbeatable contracts. The country's also on track to host the 2034 Men's World Cup, setting off controversy. The Saudis taking a big swing at golf, too, when it backed LIV in 2021, an entirely new league to compete with the PGA, again luring top athletes with massive money. The next year, then former President Trump himself taking heat for hosting a LIV tournament at his Bedminster club, with some 9/11 victims' families critical of the Saudis running this ad.
This golf tournament is taking place 50 miles from ground zero.
It's disgusting. The tournament and LIV played on.
This is nothing new. Sports washing has been around for a number of years, and the Saudis have gotten very good at it, because what they're trying to do is make themselves legitimate and cover up the human rights violations and abuses of their own country by simply using money and throwing money at it. Now, Coco Gauff saying, basically when the WTA went to Saudi Arabia, that she couldn't say that she wasn't concerned about it. She was there for the money. She's there for the competitive edge of that. She's there to play the game. The WTA, the Women's Tennis Association, with all of the stunning abuses of women in Saudi Arabia, still goes there to play a match. Why? Because there's millions of dollars at stake. Every single one of these athletes, every single one who gets involved, this is about the money. They don't care about the human rights abuses. They don't care about what that view is of what they may be doing, because every one of these athletes is condoning what Saudi Arabia is doing when they take part in an event and take that money. I said this when LIV Golf started. I've said this for soccer. I've said this for many years. It is a very serious issue that's involved, and now Tom Brady's involved in it, of all things, because recently on Mike Florio's Pro Football Talk, they ran this.
Tom Brady here. I'm very excited to unretire and come back and play in another incredible flag football game in Riyadh, March 21st, 2026 for Riyadh season. I'm here with my partner and friend, His Excellency.
We are very happy to have you at Riyadh.
And I'm ready for this.
Yes, let's go. For sure.
Let's go.
Ever since Saudi Arabia decided to direct the resources of the Public Investment Fund toward American sports, we've been watching and waiting for the moment they turn their attention to football. It's just a matter of time. We've kind of felt that. And what is this? This is dipping the toe in the water. Flag football is a big deal right now, and the NFL is on board with any effort to promote flag football. This isn't an NFL initiative that's going to happen in Saudi Arabia, but the NFL isn't complaining about it because it promotes flag football globally. And you got Tom Brady involved. You got multiple players involved. I've asked all the teams of the players who are involved, have you granted permission to do this? Because under the contract, they can't play football for anyone but you, flag or otherwise. The Cowboys have allowed CeeDee Lamb to do it. No one else has gotten back to me. And I don't even think that they buttoned this up the way they should and got permission before they just announced to the world this is going to happen, that Saquon Barkley's going to be there, that Christian McCaffrey's going to be there, that CeeDee Lamb's going to be there, that, well, Max Crosby and Brock Bowers don't have to worry about getting permission because Brady's the boss. But I think the NFL should be very concerned about this. I think this is the baby step toward doing the thing that they did to golf.
We need to point out right away at the top that, as Mike said, the National Football League has not endorsed this. They're not behind this. This is a completely separate effort of flag football in Saudi Arabia. But he is also precise in what he's saying about the NFL not raising a hand to it, because flag football is their initiative right now, that they can get into a new audience, that they can get into more of the female audience, the kids audience, and the guys and the gals who don't normally do something very athletic. It's their chance to basically conquer another marketing scheme. So they're not going to stop this. But this doesn't get away from the fact of the heinous nature of what this means for these people taking money, being part of something that simply they need to avoid. Let's look first. The players that are involved at the event itself are facing this from the Saudi Arabian side of things. These are people who purchased a soccer team. They've been given the 2034 World Cup. Live Golf was there, and that deal to merge with the PGA is dead. Thankfully, the PGA got smart, but I know it's not about smarts. This is about money more than anything else. They now have a Formula One Grand Prix there. They house and host a lot of boxing events. And the UFC and the WWE is going to be in Saudi Arabia in 2026. And, as we mentioned earlier, they hosted the WTA Finals. What makes this discussable, if you will, is who the Saudis are. Because while they are using sports to get out into the global flow of good news, this is still a regime that has imprisoned and tortured journalists. Let us not forget the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. They deny women, and this is the thing that comes up with regard to the WTA taking their money. The Saudi Arabian government, on a regular basis, denies basic human rights to women. They are slammed into prison for decades, merely for any kind of public activism or posting anything on social media. They go to jail. There are death sentences if you use social media to protest the government. They have sentenced people to death, and they have carried out these sentences. Migrant workers come into Saudi Arabia, specifically in the building of a lot of stadiums, hotels, buildings, whatever. They are sold into forced labor. Their money is kept from them. They are not allowed to go back home. They are not allowed. They are basically indentured slaves. And the death penalty for LGBTQ plus people, once they are public or once they go public, the Saudi government hits them with the death penalty. These are the people that tennis, golf, wrestling, Formula One, and now NFL players are condoning. The NFL players, the names that jump right out at you, the first one is Saquon Barkley, who is set to play in the game, but he's still under contract to the Eagles, so it's unknown if he's going to be able to play. But these are 10 players: Tom Brady, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, George Kittle, Fred Warner, Rob Gronkowski, and Sauce Gardner. They're all set to play in this flag football series in a land that kills journalists, sentences women to death, puts people with alternative lifestyles to death, and that basically uses their money to destroy human rights in their own country. I know we're off sports, but in essence we are still. This is all about money. For Tom Brady, for Rob Gronkowski, for Saquon Barkley. You don't think they're doing this for free, right? You don't think they're going to play flag football in Saudi Arabia and not get any money for it. Of course they are. They're going to make money. The Women's Tennis Association goes there because of the guaranteed money that they are handed, saying that it benefits the players. And of course they need the money. The WWE and UFC are going there because they see a market that is untapped, that is worth billions of dollars to them. It puts a foothold in the European market and gives them a partner with unlimited funds. National Football League is watching. Because as flag football grows, they're going to make more money. And that money, some of it, is going to come from the Saudis. It's going to come from a government, a country that kills its own people, that murders those it doesn't believe follows its way of political thinking, or religious thinking in many ways, and profits at the same time while doing all this. And everybody's happy. It's the Saudis. We have a Formula One Grand Prix there. It looks pretty. It looks nice. Look at the great facilities they built for tennis. Look at the great arenas they're going to build for wrestling and for boxing events. Look at all they're going to do for us. And the flag football event that Tom Brady is getting involved in is going to get tremendous attention. It is going to get worldwide attention. Tom Brady, I know you're not going to see this. It's okay. Maybe, just maybe, someone will get this to you. You're a good guy, Tom. You never stole a freight train. You're not a bad guy. You're just a football player, a former football player. Don't do it. It's not worth it. If you take the Saudi money, you are condoning what they do. You are standing alongside your partner, His Excellency, whose name you didn't even know. And you're agreeing to be part of the marketing effort that gets Saudi Arabia clean, that washes them, that uses sports to wash their reputation, while the rest of the world is watching. Do you need the money, Tom? That badly? Do you need the adulation? Do you need to be on camera that bad? Do you really want your kids to look at you one day and say, Dad, how could you have taken the money from a government that kills people because they don't believe in a certain religion, they don't believe in a certain sexual orientation, or they question the government itself peacefully? How could you take their money? I don't know how you do it, but don't do it. You don't need to. And to the National Football League, you don't need to get involved with the Saudis. Saudis are going to try and buy a piece of you. Sooner or later, that's going to happen. But you don't need to get involved. You don't need to be part of it. Let them go. Let them do with someone else. Don't taint yourself by being part of this greedy, every single nickel we can get, millions and billions and trillions of dollars because we need it, because we want to get richer, because we want to make more money, because we want to be more powerful. You're powerful now. I want you to think, and here's what I want people to think before we move on. Every time you hear about a Saudi Arabian-backed event, Live Golf, think about the men and the women who are in prison because they dared speak out against the Saudi government. Think of the children whose mothers and fathers are gone. Think of the executions that have and will be held against those people who simply ask questions and want a better life for themselves. If you as a league or an athlete are okay with that, and if you as a listener, viewer of this show, a sports fan, if you're okay with it, I can't stop you. You have to make your own decisions. But think for a moment what this means to others instead of to you. And I hope you'll make the right decision. I hope you'll think twice. Moving on. Stay in the National Football League. Shedeur Sanders continues to be, once again, a topic of discussion every single week. And now we understand from sources, and that has been confirmed by he and his father, that Shedeur Sanders told the Baltimore Ravens, don't draft me on draft day. They wanted to take him much higher, but he didn't want to go because he didn't want to play second fiddle to Lamar Jackson. He wants to start. He believes that he is a starter and a star in the National Football League. And with Jackson, as good a player as he is, he knew that he was going to have to take some time and learn under Jackson before he got to be the big gun. Now in Cleveland, he may have his chance, quite frankly. Joe Flacco's not getting any younger and the Browns need help, so he may indeed become the starting quarterback. But the problem with Shedeur and his father is they have shot their mouth off every single chance they get. They have shot themselves in the foot every single time because they don't play the game. And yeah, there's a game in the NFL. There's a game everywhere. You got to play the game. If you're a rookie, you play the game. If you're a veteran signing a free agent contract, you play the game. Now, that's not to say the National Football League is perfect, but these are the things that you have to do. A lot of this got started again because Eric Dickerson, former great in the National Football League, made some comments recently about Shedeur Sanders and about Deion Sanders. And TMZ caught him at the airport and got him to expand a little bit on his comments.
You made a lot of noise with your with some stuff you were saying about things you felt about Shedeur Sanders in the NFL, kind of like making him a pariah, kind of blackballing him a little bit. After seeing what's been going on for the last couple of weeks, do you feel like that stands?
Yeah, I didn't make that up. That's true.
That's true.
That's true. That's a true statement. I mean, I got it from an inside source. The guy who works for the National Football League. He got it from inside the league. Yeah, I mean, look, it's different for us. I'm just gonna say that, black players, we can't speak out like some of the white players. Nothing against the white players. It's not even about that, we both have the same struggles. I mean, we really do. So it's just sometimes they want to make a statement, to show you that, you're not all that. I know they don't care for his dad, and I think Deion's a great guy. Deion tries to help these young men become men, not boys, and I just felt like it was wrong what they did to him. I mean, look, Mel Kiper said in 30 years he hadn't seen nothing like this.
Right.
I mean, so, it was something to that. I mean, I know when something's done wrong. I mean, we all know. I mean, all of us talked about it, but nothing we could do about it.
Some news recently came out, a report that he basically didn't want to go to Baltimore,
Man,
and that he didn't want to sit behind.
Why all of a sudden this comes out?
Lamar.
Why all of a sudden this comes out now? This is after the fact. I don't believe that. I mean, I know that came from I forgot the reporter's name, but I don't believe that. I mean, it's possible, but I just don't believe that. I mean, that would have came out early. I mean,
would any quarterback in his right mind be like, hey, I know you have to sit behind the best in the game, but according to some, I mean, he's the MVP. But wouldn't you learn so much too?
You would learn a lot. I mean, it'd make him a better quarterback. I mean, look, a lot of these guys, to me, they throw them in there too fast or too soon. But I mean, that's the age we're in right now. They want the number one picks to play right away, the quarterback. Some of them aren't ready. That's why some of them fail. And it depends on what team you go to. I mean, if you go to a team like the Browns, I mean, honestly, that's not a good football team. I hate to see him. I wish they would have cut him. They didn't have an opportunity at a better football team because, I mean, the Browns have had so many first-round picks and screwed it up. I mean, that's a bad football team. I mean, they were bad when I played. I mean, they were decent. I think they were pretty good, but they're horrible.
So what do you think the move for Shedeur is at this point? Do you hope he gets cut? That way he can move on?
I don't wish that for anybody. That's for the Browns. That's for Shedeur. That's for them to do. I mean, I don't think he's gonna get a fair shot there. I don't, because I don't think they really wanted him. I don't think the coach wanted him. They should have fired him too. But I'm not a Browns fan, at all. So I could care less. But I mean, I'm a Shedeur fan. I'm a Deion Sanders fan.
Eric Dickerson is claiming that the National Football League colluded against Shedeur Sanders in picking him. Right there in his statement, in his comments that he made to TMZ Sports, he is saying that a source told him that the National Football League basically colluded, plotted, either the league or a team, to keep Shedeur Sanders down, to keep him out of the top lines in the NFL draft, to make sure that he went to a bad team, whatever it is. But Eric Dickerson is shooting his mouth off here with completely unsubstantiated claims. And here, I'll tell you what, if Dickerson claims to know that he has sources that claim the National Football League and the Cleveland Browns or anybody else plotted against Shedeur Sanders for whatever reason, then make it public. Get out there. Who's your sources? Put them out here. If you really claim that, if you're so sure about that, and if you want to do the right thing for Shedeur Sanders, for the general public, for the game itself, then open your mouth for a change. Stop dribbling all this nonsense and tell us where it came from. I mean, Eric Dickerson is so ready to go ahead and slam away at the Cleveland Browns. Let's see, 1 minute they're bad, 1 minute they're decent, 1 minute they're then terrible. He can't make up his mind. But he tells us that, without question, there's a problem in the league. He's also then alluding to a racist issue in the National Football League. Now, I have friends of mine who played in the National Football League, and I've talked to them at length over the years. And I have had these players, black players, look me right in the eye and say, Ed, without question, there is racism in the National Football League. I've had people who've been close to the NFL say, without question, there are racist attitudes and racist individuals in the National Football League. What I'm saying is, if this is the case, we are dealing with a crime against the sport and maybe a crime in and of itself. Let's find out who's there. Let's find out what happened. We can say that without question, Shedeur Sanders and his father helped to destroy his draft day worth because they couldn't keep their mouths shut. Everything was about me. Everything was about my kid. Everything is about what you should pick. Everything was about you need to pick him. He's the next star. He's a starting quarterback. He's going to lead you to a Super Bowl. Whatever it was, the bullshit that was out there. But this is what was said. And there's a game to be played in the National Football League. Don't tell us how good you are. Don't tell us how great you are. Because we're going to make you pay for it. That's the way it is. It's a pecking order in the National Football League. Is it right? No. But it's the way the game is played. Is it racist? Could be. And if it is, we need to get to the bottom of this. So that's why I'm saying if Eric Dickerson is so sure he's got a source, go public. Instead of standing there and making accusations, spitting on people's reputations, let's get to the bottom of it. If there is a collusive effort in the NFL, let's punish them. If it's the Browns who did it, punish them. If it's the Ravens who did it, punish them. If it's any other team, punish them. But enough with all this guessing game here. Get to the facts. Eric Dickerson isn't doing anybody any good whatsoever by just shooting his mouth off and saying, hey, I know a guy, and a guy told me. If you're so sure, and if you're so dedicated to making sure that things are better, and that the black players are treated more fairly in the National Football League, then make it public. Make it stick. Go at them. If not, shut your mouth. Because you're just throwing out rumors, innuendo, propaganda, and more absolute bullshit that may not be true. But if there's truth to it, let's find it. Let's get into it. There's plenty of people out there on the media side of things who would love to get a hold of this story. I'd like to get a hold of it. Make it real. Do the investigation. The problem with that is you can't go to ESPN to investigate because they're in bed with the NFL. You can't go to NBC, Comcast, they're in bed with the NFL. Disney's in bed with the NFL. Amazon, Netflix, all the rest, all the major networks, one way, shape, form, or another, make a buck from the NFL. So what are they going to do? Go after their partners? No, this is something for the Washington Post, the New York Times, investigative reporters. But guess what, Eric? It can all start with you. All you've got to do is go to somebody, tell them who the source is, let them talk to the source, let's get to the bottom of it. Otherwise, you're just another piece of mealy-mouthed shit that is just out there using the media, using social media, using whomever you can in order to put yourself into the conversation somehow. Stop it. Stop it. This is more than just about Shedeur Sanders. This is about racism that needs to be stopped, that needs to be cut off at the head. But instead, we've just got rumors and innuendo. Come on, Eric Dickerson. You got the guts? You a man, huh? You want to fight? You want to do the right thing? You're going to go ahead and stand up, or you're just going to sit there and take your little interview and walk away? Do something. Stand up. Do something right instead of passing off propaganda and nonsense and rumor. Let's see. Moving on, let's go ahead before we get out of here. Let's get to our NFL picks for the week. Oddly enough, this week I did not do so well. The Lions killed me. The Ravens had a chance to give me up a good 9-6 record for the week. They lost. I go to 8-7, but my seasonal number is still not bad. 28-19 for the completely irrelevant picks, the unnatural picks, however you want to slice them. Because we're not doing odds, and I'm not doing it based on injury reports. I'm not doing it based on coaching matchups. We are doing it on completely illogical issues. And I picked Baltimore this week over Detroit because they have better crabs in the downtown area, in the inner harbor. Their food's better. Detroit? What do you got in Detroit? Why? So that's why I picked him. And I lost. So then, coming up, our next game before we meet again will be the Thursday night affair against the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. I am trying to root for the Seahawks as much as I can because, quite frankly, I love Seattle. I love the weather. I love the people. I love the food. It's awesome. Arizona, okay. Arizona's just this set out, flat. I mean, the downtown area was nice when I was in Arizona recently. I was in Phoenix. I liked it. I like the way their sports are set up. I like the way they have an arena, the baseball park. It's all just awesome. But I've never really been a fan So based on all of that, based on the fact that I have been in both cities, and I had an awesome crab sandwich one day, and the fish was marvelous in Seattle. And also when I was there, I made money. I'm going with Seattle this week on the road to beat the Arizona Cardinals. That's my first one. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. For no other reason than it's completely illogical. See? I told you. Nothing logical about these picks. But hey, I can go ahead and be illogical. You know why? I'm 28-19. I'm above the Mendoza line. That's not bad. You going to pick with me? You're crazy. You are absolutely insane. Don't do it, all right? Reminder once again, if you want to go ahead and catch us on YouTube, go to the YouTube channel at The Fastest Show in Sports. You'll find full episodes, segments, clips. You'll be able to send us an email there, comment on what you see in here. Please do. Please subscribe. We cannot move forward and we cannot succeed without you because you are part of this show. Please subscribe. If you'd rather listen to us while you're driving or while you're out running, go ahead to wherever you get your podcasts, and we are there. We're housed on Podbean, but we're on all the major podcast platforms. You go ahead, listen to the entire show, and also subscribe there if you will. Matter of fact, subscribe to both places. We need you. We need our fan base. For everybody here, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on The Fastest Show in Sports. I'm Ed Berliner. Rock on, true believers. See ya.
That's all, folks.